Hey guys, welcome back. So this week we are going to be working on putting up some siding. We did a little bit of milling on that last week, so this week we'll start working on trying to get some of that up, see how that goes. Never done it before, so it's going to take a little while here at the get-go, but hopefully once we get the hang of it, it'll start going up pretty quick. Okay, so we've messed around with this for a little bit here, and one thing has become very apparent, and that is that I need to see if I can borrow a miter saw here to cut these things up. It's just taking way too long to mark lines on all these things, mark them to length, and then mark a line across so that I can cut it with the circle saw. And that's just taking way too much time per board, and some of them I'm cutting up into smaller lengths because it's got some bad stuff in it, so I'm cutting around those. So we got to see if we can source a miter saw here for this. Okay, so we got about 2/3 of our boards here cut to length and getting the bad stuff cut out of it and whatnot. Tomorrow we won't get out here. I've got to do deliveries in the morning, and then in the afternoon I'm taking a couple hogs to the processor. So I know I won't be getting out here at all tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday hopefully I should be back out here. We can get the rest of these cut to length and start hooking some of this stuff up. For today, first off, what we're going to do is cut these last few boards here to length. We got about 8 or 10 of them there. We'll cut those down to the length, and then we're gonna start working on putting some of this stuff up. So with that done, we are now going to attempt to try and put some of this up, and I think we'll start on this little section here at the end of the mill. Okay, so we've got a few rows of boards up here, and we're going to try a little bit different approach here for getting our spacing right. I was trying to mark the distance up, but then I was having to hold it in place or clamp the board in place. So we're going to try using these little, I guess, jigs of sorts to just be able to clamp those in place real quick, and then we can just set our next board on top of those, see if that works a little bit better. Okay, so I've got them up just about as far as I can reach, which means that either one, I could bring a ladder over here and I'd have to kind of move it back and forth across there, or I could do what I've done a couple other times and bring the track loader over here with the bucket on it, and then I can use that as something to stand on. But before we can do that, we've got to clean all this stuff out of here. Okay, so we got the loader up here ready to go, and we have enough boards that are of the right length for this lower level to do 3 more runs of siding on this wall. All right, that's all that we have milled at the moment that is of the right size for these stud spacing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of cleanup here in front of the mill to pick up all these cutoffs and stuff that we've got over here, get those moved out of the way, and then tomorrow we can do some milling. Okay, last day for this week. We're going to try getting a little bit of milling done today, and I don't know how much we're actually going to get done because, against probably my better judgment, we're going to try getting something out of this gnarly piece of wood here. It's got this crotch on it, and I just don't know what, if anything, we're actually going to be able to get out of it, but we won't know until we start cutting into it. And before we can start cutting into it, we got to do some chainsaw work on it because as it is right now, it's a little bit too big to fit in the mill. I don't know if this is gonna fit or not. It is really close side to side, and it is just, I think, barely short enough to be able to fit through on that first pass, and that's including the depth above the band blade, so the throat depth of the saw itself. So it's like 34 inches deep or something on there. It's gonna be close if it makes it at all. So we are working by the light of the headlights on the loader over here, but we finally got this thing worked down into 3 cants, which is actually pretty impressive. But remember that part where I said, against probably my better judgment, we're gonna try getting something out of this gnarly piece of wood here. Yeah, sometimes actually often my better judgment knows what it's talking about. This was entirely too much work to try and get this thing milled down to what it is. I ended up almost having to mill it octagonally, 8-sided. So take off 4 sides and then turn it corner up and then mill off those sides, so that way I could get it down small enough that I could actually do something with it. So it was kind of a pain, especially with one person doing it. But we got it, we're good, and these are now ready to go and get milled into more siding. So this is not quite as much as I was hoping to get done today, but it's all we're gonna get done today, and it's all we're gonna get done this week. So these will have to wait till next week to get milled up any further. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next week.